you have this action potential, which is this like big bolt of light, this big boom that happens in the cell body, the cell body, and then it just conducts the electricity down the long axon part and tells the next neuron what's going on. The reason that I want you to understand it's electrical is that I want you to understand that the myelin, the fatty part that wraps around it, the white matter, is important because it keeps the electrical signals from shorting out. So if you have two wires right beside each other with no insulation in between them, they're going to short out. They're going to spark and they're going to short out. And it's the same thing in your body. And that's why people have multiple sclerosis. Anybody ever heard of that?
Yes.
Yeah. So multiple sclerosis is something where you can't move your body like you want to. You kind of lose control of it. That's because you lose the myelin that insulates all your nerves. And then the nerves kind of short out. And it's the same thing in babies. Babies are born without myelin, or they're born with incomplete myelin. And so little babies, you guys can see the videos because, watch this. All right.
Man, the brain is crazy. So can I ask you a question?
Yeah, ask me.
So if you were doing the nerve test, right? And I know you about to do the nerve test.
Oh no, we're on video. Don't look at that. Don't look at that. All right, so here are these two kids. They are like 2 months old. And
Are you playing?
watch. Yeah, first of all, this one's just slobbering all over himself. Poor form. He's not going to pick up. The one on the left or the right is actually a lady baby. And see, she just kind of moves her arms, and her hands stay in fists, and she's mostly just kind of jerking her shoulders around, and a little bit of movement elsewhere. And he's doing the same thing.
Saw a smile.
And he smiles, right? They can smile and they can look around really soon after they're born. Or they look around first and then they can smile a little bit later, and then they start jerking a little bit. And you see, he moved his legs. And the reason for this is that the nerves, all your nerves in your body, the nerves that control your legs have to get from your brain to your legs, right? Or they actually get from your spinal cord to your leg. But they're longer and they need more myelin on them. They need more insulation because they just got more wire. And so when the baby is born, and then the nerves that control your face and your suckling and your eye movements, those are really close to your brain. So they don't need a lot of time to myelinate. And so a baby is born and it can move this stuff, and then later it can move its shoulders because the myelin is slowly increasing. It's slowly kind of progressing down from the brain. And then later it can move its hands, and then much later it can move its legs. And so that's myelination. That's the place you can see myelination in your everyday life, as long as you're lucky enough to not have MS. This is my son, in case you didn't guess. Yeah, he's the cutest, I know. It's and he was crawling. Anyway, it's neat to see. He crawls when they start to crawl. Like remember, the cat can crawl without his brain. So babies crawl a little bit without their brain too. They don't really have like you can see them crawl. They'll move one leg and the other leg just kind of moves by reflex to like catch up so it doesn't fall over. And that's how we all learn. We all learn by kind of a combination of the brain and the spinal cord kind of like trading off. The spinal cord's doing what it's good at, and the brain is saying, all right, you're doing what you're good at, but I got some things to teach you. And then as you get older, your brain gets more and more control over your reflexes. Yeah, I got to take it from here. All right, so now you know that a neuron integrates all its information, it goes to the cell body, and then it either decides to fall off the cliff or not and have an action potential. And then it has this long wiry thing that's an axon that connects it to the next cell. So yeah.
When you get old, is your body like going back? Like I'm talking like 80s, 90s, is it going back to like baby born?
Yeah. The body's getting shorter.
It's a little bit. So if you have, this is actually really cool. So if you have it's not really cool if you have a stroke. Don't have a stroke. If you have a stroke or something, there are lots of reflexes in babies. Like if you drop a baby, its arms go out to the side. And if you these are fun. If you have any babies in your life, another one is if you bend one arm in. If a baby's sitting like this, and you bend this arm up, the other arm automatically goes out.
That's my baby.
That's in the spinal cord. Another thing is if you rub them on the back right here, they pee all over the place. That's fun. Show your friends. If you rub them right at the bottom of their spinal cord, like then they'll usually leave. Another thing you can do is,
I need to have a child.
yeah, no, you don't need to have a child. You need to have a nephew or a niece or something like that. All right. So those things are all built into babies, but they go in, or like you stroke its cheek, it tries to suck on your finger. Those are built into babies, but if you have someone who has a stroke or is in a coma, those things all come back. So they get kind of like, the brain has been, if you stroke my cheek, I don't turn and suck on your finger. But that's not because that reflex isn't there. The reflex is still there. I'm just trying not to look like a fool. But if you, as you get older or you get like impairment in your brain, those things come back. So you can see that in old people who have like a coma or have like a stroke. That's an excellent question. All right, so this is neuron 1, it has to talk to neuron 2. And the way that it does that is, if this is neuron 1's axon, the output part, and this is neuron 2's dendrite, the input part, it has these things called neurotransmitters that transmit neuro information.
Aren't these in the brain?
Bingo. They're in the brain, they're in the peripheral nervous system, they're all over the place.
They're called.
They're running the show.
What starts with the M, man? Chemical? Never mind.
No. I don't think it does. I don't know if it starts with. So what these neurotransmitters are doing is they're causing there are different kinds. There are some that cause inhibition, it's called, which make the neuron less excitable, and there are some that make the neuron more excitable. And the reason that neurons ever do their action potential thing is that they get enough excitable inputs. There are more excitable inputs than what's the opposite of excitable? Unexcitable inputs. And there are certain diseases where you get a misbalance of this. Like if you have epilepsy or seizures, there's a problem is that you have too much excitation or not enough calming you down. All right, so that's all I wanted you to learn. So my friends over here again. What are the 3 parts of a neuron that I told you about? There's like a spiny part at the top. What's that part called? Dendrite. Bingo. Then there's the part in the middle that's the body. And then what's the long part that comes out and talks to the next neuron?
Your axon.
Perfect. All right. What representative? I don't know what time this one is.
Yeah,
It's over.
Yeah, like 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Guys, so what we were thinking is those terms that you didn't know, I'm going to give you flashcards for those and a new ring so you can make flashcards because you are going to be tested on this material, so you need to know it. Which means the PowerPoints and everything will be on my website, and I'll show you the link to that on Wednesday, but I'll put them up today, okay? We're also recording the lectures so we can find a place to post those too, so if anything, at least we can put them on the shared drive, okay? All right, so can I have a couple volunteers to help me? Can you give everyone a ring? Don't lose your ring, keep it.
Pass the ring down.
I'm gonna just give it to you. So like I was saying, like if you hit my knee right with the nerve thing, and I tell my brain not to move my knee, am I still gonna move my knee or am I not gonna move
You're
it?
not gonna move your knee. I can do things like make you count backwards. And you won't be able to like, think about enough things and just keep moving. So I can outsmart your brain.
Does he get one?
Alright, what about you know how you said if your brain can't feel it, so don't is it possible to choose when they say the pain is medicine?
Yeah, sure. So, like in the kids, people who don't have brains, and they still have pain. All of their pain means not in your car. So,
If I tell myself I don't have pain, like if I'm hurting, I don't hurt anymore, can I tell my brain?
yeah, like if you hurt your leg,
Make sure you're passing out. Come on.
because your brain's like, it's not time.
All right, make sure you get spot 4 at a time.
Oh, my grandpa.